Can you tell, like, kind of piggybacking off that point? Can you tell when a coach is like just basically offering you because another school offered you and just kind of using their, like, if a bigger school came in and was just like, we'd love to have you, but they're just trying to scoop you from a smaller, like, low major school?
Yeah, I actually had a funny story. I was gonna put a certain school, I won't name it, but I was gonna put a certain school in my top 5, and just because I'm a hometown kid, I guess that kind of gives it away. But I remember I was on the phone with the coach, and he was like, "You played great this weekend," and I was like, "I didn't really think I played that well." So I was like, "Which game were you at?" And he like started stuttering, like he wasn't even there, like. So like these coaches just, I don't know, recruiting so it's kind of fishy because I feel like they lie, they tell you what you want to hear, but at the end of the day, like you have to trust these people with your future. So I don't know. I remember I didn't put that school in my final schools just because of that. So
Yeah. I was gonna say, I want you to kind of, because we talked about at a workout, I think that was earlier last week or something, but you had mentioned if a coach says they're gonna guarantee you play time at a school, run away. So talk about, like, how to fish out, give advice to some younger players in that situation that are getting all this interest. Like, how do you fish out what questions to ask, or what do you wish you could have done different?
yeah, I think it's kind of tough because the question you want to ask coaches, am I going to play? But coaches can't promise you playing time. You have to earn that. And if a coach is telling you or promising you they're going to play, then that kind of says something about the school because what do you think they're telling other kids? So it's like you just gotta realize that and kind of pick through the fake stuff that you're hearing and just really try to ask questions that. And it's tough because as a kid you're like 16 years old, you don't know what to ask. But I think anytime you're in high school and those people come back from college and the coach is like, give them some advice, like really listen because these people, like they've been through where you're at. So yeah.
And then, because we talked about that on that one of those first episodes that we tried to get about the questions you would ask, and you were kind of saying, like, what other players are you recruiting, and things like that. So that's huge.
And yeah, no, I was gonna just piggyback off that. Like, I think a lot of it came from like your dad and like the focus of like education and like your mentality and stuff. And you talked about it a little bit, but like you had to focus on school. And I think a lot of kids probably lose that because they're so focused on sports. But then when the real questions start to happen with recruiting and stuff, you don't know what to ask because you're so focused on basketball. As for you, you were focused on education, you were focused on the right thing. So like you kind of came in with a maturity level of like, all right, well, I'm gonna ask these questions. If these answers aren't there, I'm not going to your school. And I think a lot of kids need to kind of focus on that. And
Yeah, for sure. But even me, I didn't know what to expect. I probably chose Marquette for the wrong reasons, but it worked out for me. But yeah, I think definitely just the relationship with the head coach is really important because that's the person that's gonna put you on the floor. Like assistant coaches recruit you and that's huge, but the head coach is the only one that can make that decision at the end of the day. So that the location and how they play the offense is really important.
so important. But you got to watch film and know how teams play, though.
But kids don't do that though. I mean, you would never know that, but you really have to. If you're in high school and getting recruited, I think you should really watch film and like if you see yourself in that system, then
I would say, because you talked about that too, is like, is this school known for developing small guards or centers or whatever your position is? People are just hearing that big high major stamp and they're like, oh, I'm gonna go here.
And the proof is there. You look at the stats, you look at the film, everything is there, right? But people don't look at it. People don't look at it.
bet you probably over 50% of kids choose schools for the name and the gear. I bet you. You can't count that, but the name and the gear weighs so much to high school kids when it's really, like that decision can really mess you up or like put you on the trajectory to go to the NBA. So
That is crazy. The shiny stuff, man. That'll get you on the wrong path.